In 1983, George Lucas introduced the world to the Ewoks, a race of creatures indigenous to the second moon of Endor. Now, the Ewoks have a rich... And so I stayed up all last night studying your culture.
I'm sorry, what?
And to those who say jazz is the only indigenous American art form, I say, listen to a little Jay-Z, my friend.
Oh. He's a smart boy, and he expressed a keen interest in the history of the island's indigenous peoples.
But when an indigenous tribe claimed the land sacred, it threatened to kill his deal. So, he made them disappear.
The larvae he's depositing at the crime scenes are indigenous to the southwestern United States. So be on the lookout for suspicious vehicles with I...
Let me try again. Have the indigenous fauna accepted you as one of their own? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Oh, I guess...
Do you see? This building was built on an old quartz mine. And back then, indigenous materials would have been used when building a new structure.
Hey, I've got succotash, quinoa, and fry bread made from acorn powder indigenous to our people.
We have some ideas, observations really from an indigenous point of view that we thought would be of use to you.
Indigenous peoples of hundreds of worlds have always prospered once accepting the Ishveni as their kindred brethren.
51!
Sir, it's in increments of $10. Increments of $10. Increments of $10.
Then I'm out.
It's in the last hour.
I'm no expert, but I'd say your partners are selling in increments. Increments.
I'll tell them what you're doing. Shore the price back up.
But they're up.
Industrial Revolution. I mean, Encyclopedia Britannica didn't see Wikipedia coming. Great things don't happen in tiny little increments.
Make them uglier.
The killer has been murdering in 6-hour increments. He is, in effect, time-stamping his victims. There's no reason to believe he will deviate from that now.
I titrated her lithium dose in daily increments of 600 milligrams until a total daily dosage of 18...
Terry participates in daily group sessions and craft activities enthusiastically.
Double the saline bolus. Second in 10 mil increments. Hyponatremia measurements Q2 minutes.
You're playing calm, but you're sweating. And instead of threatening me in increments, fingers, toes, that kind of thing, you're going straight for the drop. You're on a clock.
TAO. 5-degree increments. 10 to 15 seconds apart. Randomly.
Yes.
Homemaker. So when you got into business school, you needed a source of income. Something to pay your tuition. Each one with a lucrative stream of income.
How did that not score you free hot dogs for life? CNRI gives low-income people access to the legal system. About them,
What? They only give sodas to low-income people with a bunch of chemicals in them to sterilize you. That's why I only drink water.
Property. You know, I can't say her name. There are conditions. Could I make a guess as to your income?
It's Lorraine, I would suggest there is no such thing. If we don't find a way to earn an income, and soon we will lose what little we have left of the crew.
Well, now I have to become mayor. It seems I'll need the income.
Losing the company wasn't your fault. It was mine.
Versus Dunleavy. The state charged a real estate developer for turning away low-income tenants based on his so-called morality.
Vendors selling their wares, bringing home a modest income.
Okay. Maybe he found out he was getting fired and was looking for another source of income.
Doesn't seem to be anything unusual about these victims.
Up and down the income scale. I mean, scattered all over the place.
charity for traffic accident victims with an annual income of 50,000 euros.